So I had an opportunity recently to sit down with an executive of a rather large company, the chief diversity officer, no less. And I learned a few things. It was quite interesting. There was a few posts, and you know how executive directors get. They run everything through legal before they say it, stuff like that, to make sure that they're not going to get in trouble. Understandable, really, because they have to be accountable for everything and anything they say. Well, something became apparent in this conversation. This person doesn't know what's going on, and I imagine most executives have no idea as well. There might be an exceptional one or two that kind of get it, but it became apparent that this one in particular didn't know what they were supporting. They made a comment about Black Lives Matter. They mentioned Breonna Taylor and a bunch of other people. Come to find out, Breonna Taylor was illegally selling guns. She was trafficking drugs, and that's why there was a warrant out for her search and seizure and possible arrest. Of course, they denied that they even heard the cops, even though the neighbors did, and they opened fire. And so the boyfriend did not get charged with attempted murder of a police officer, and she ended her life basically defending him, is what it seems like, at least. Perfect little saint. She was going to be an EMT, a nurse, and all that fun stuff while she was trafficking drugs and selling guns illegally. Selling guns. For all those people that demand the gun reform and stuff like that, you got to get these guns off the streets and illegal guns, you're sure quick to defend somebody that's selling guns illegally. Weird how that works, right? You're all for gun reform and you want guns off the street and guns are the problem and guns. Here's a lady selling guns illegally and you defend her ass. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Really keep up with them principles there. At any rate, back to the CEO, executive, whatevers. In our conversation, I learned that they defend and support the notion of Black Lives Matter, but not the movement. Meaning they have no idea that Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, in my view, using political motive for personal gain, and they're using violence to do so. Reparations are the looting and rioting. Yeah. As we've seen from a few of their organized supporters. The Antifa jumps on the bandwagon with the Black Lives Matter boys, and, well, they just destroy things. Because they're communists. They can't help themselves. They want to destroy the world. That's kind of their objectives. To make everything equal, we gotta tear it all down. Makes absolute sense. The conversation went all over the place, to be honest, but he didn't know what cultural Marxism is. In fact, he read me the Wikipedia entry for cultural Marxism. Wikipedia believes that cultural Marxism is a conspiracy theory that the Jews have created Marxism for the culture and it's being applied, but it's a Jew plot, apparently. I don't know where they got the Jews involved in this thing, but it's not. It could be because the Frankfurt School and the people that founded and invented Marxism are from Nazi Germany. That might have something to do with it. Just saying. Maybe. The reality of it is Marxism is basically a twofold dichotomy. It's the haves and the have-nots, the oppressed and the oppressors, the black versus white, the man versus woman. That's it. You take two things, and one's the bad person, one's the good person, and you go, we need to swap those. That's cultural Marxism. That's Marxism in general, and that's what I explained to him, that Marxism and cultural Marxism is basically Marxism applied to culture. Marxism is rather simple. It's have versus have-nots. It's oppressed and oppressor. Identify the oppressed, identify the oppressor. Problem solved. Now you need to tear down the oppressor so that the oppressed are equal in some case. And when they're already equal, Tear them down anyways, because Marxism. You'll always be the oppressed. You'll always be the picked on, the downtrodden, the poor, and whatever. You'll always be in that position, so just tear them down anyways. It's a destructive ideology. And there was a couple other things that were brought up in that conversation, which I thought was pretty interesting. I brought up some of the critical race theory that was being posted and propagated throughout the company, which led me to believe that this person might have been racist. But they didn't account for the accountability of their own actions. When it came to that list, he said he didn't vet them. And I was like, okay, then why post it? Why did you post a list of a lot of egregious things? Yeah. So I have come to the conclusion, after this, that most of the executives, have no idea what they're giving money to, that they're propagating, that they're supporting. Like the Apple CEO, that's all for Black Lives Matter and all that other shit right now. I bet you anything he has no idea what he's supporting. None whatsoever. And the rest of the CEOs that are like, yeah, we need to support the Black Lives because this is an important movement and this is important in our current culture and whatever. Bet you anything they have no idea what they're supporting right now. Bet you anything at all. The movements are getting funded by these people that have no clue. So, for all of those that think it's inappropriate to voice up to power, particularly your job and your boss and whatever, have a sit-down conversation with them. It's very important that you do. Take the time, sit down, ask them for a meeting, set it up, and say, do you know what you're supporting? Do you understand it? Do you think, why don't you explain it to me and tell me what you think you're supporting. And let me tell you why other people in this company actually hate what you're supporting at this point in time. Anyways, that's, I think, all I got for right now. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time.